Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about HTTP and its related things like request, response, status code, HTTP verbs, and all. So the agenda of this session is these are status code, request, response header, HTTP verbs, and at the last we have some important question and answer of this session. So guys, what is HTTP? Basically, HTTP is an application layer protocol designed to transfer information between network device and the run on top of other layer of the network protocol stack. So when suppose say you want to get a list of universities in your list of student from your universities. So you have given some API, you hit that API, and you get back a name of the student who is inside of your university. So that is the process is a request and still the response is HTTP basically. So when you are requesting something, you are getting as a sometime you are getting a result, sometime you are not getting result, sometime you are getting unauthorized, sometime you are getting bad request, sometime you are getting not found. So these are the status code which generally we get. So whatever the status code start from the one is informational. Whatever the status code start from two is success. Like say you want to get a list of a student of your university and you hit the API, you get back a list. Now suppose say if you want to get a list of a student who is from some part of a country, some district of that country, and you are not getting any result because there is no student of that particular district. In that case, you may get 204, that is no content. On the status code, which is starting from 301, like that, 3 from starting from 3 is basically a redirection. Suppose say previously you have a HTTP website or your website is getting redirected to new website. In that case, you are sending this redirection status code. This one is a client error, like say when you are asking for getting a list of a student who is belonging from the ABC district. So you need to pass a ABC as a district name. Instead of passing a district name, you are passing a state name, a state and then equal to name. That is a bad request because your request is not matching. Like a 400, you will get. Maybe your API need authorization. You need a token to get your result. In that case, if you are not authorized, you will get unauthorized token. If you are authorized also, but you do not have a permission for that particular API, then in that case you will get a 403 that is forbidden. It is not for you. And something like suppose say you are executing ABC domain name and then ABC, which is certainly not found. That means that API, that endpoint is not belonging to that application. In that case, you will get 404. In a technical error, basically, we are sending this one, 500 internal server. Sometimes the time getting data from the database is too heavy. In that case, suppose say we might get a timeout error and so on. So let's move to the Visual Studio and we will see HTTP request header, response header, and all those. So let's go to our Visual Studio first. So for the time saving purpose, I had already written my code over here, guys. You can get a slide. You can have a screenshot of that. Now, I had already set up a project like HTTP example. You can take any project. You can go to the file and new and start a project. No matter. It will start like, and after starting, just for example purpose, just remove these HTTP configuration we are going to study. So just remove these line. these pipeline requests. Now let's have a copy my code and let's comment one by one, and then we will start our example. Let's comment one by one. Let's minimize this. Now you see a hello HTTP, that is root label. When you start your application, you are getting this message. What you will have to do, you just right click on any area, this area, and go to the inspect tab. This is developer option, and in this you go to the network tab. Okay. Now again refresh this. So what you see here, HTTP localhost, what you see here, request, header, and response. So this request URL, which URL you are going to hit? This one, localhost slash 7009. What method you are going to hit? So method we have already written here, that is map get. Map with what? With the root, with the slash. So come back here, and what status code you are getting? You are getting without any error, you are getting your result, your requested result. So the status code is of the response is 200. And these are the content, HTML, text, HTML, date. In this date, it get executed. On which server it get? That is Kestrel server. On this server, this one is getting at the back. This Kestrel server has started. And now in the request header, what you send a local host. This is base URL, and this is endpoint. So, and sorry, this is the method, the HTTP verbs, and this is your endpoint. So, base URL plus endpoint. You are hitting over here, like say slash and press enter. See, you get this. The schema is what you are going to accept, what case control, accept language. These are the things of response header. Response header, this top, and request header. These are the user agent, which user agent you are executing. That is Windows NT. These are the agent, and accept which language, English, accept what HTML application. These are the schema is what HTTP or HTTPS is a secure protocol, or is just a simple HTTP. Now let's move to the no. Before moving, let's do one thing. Let's type something like we have here. We have like a get something else. Let's copy this and try to execute this. What we are getting. Try to execute this. What we got, oh, we got in a red. That is 404. 404, what we had already discussed. 404, that is not found. Okay, makes sense. Because this is not there in our code. So we do not, our API, our application doesn't have this got something else that the application don't know about this. So it's returning 404 content length. There is nothing, no return. Server is this, method is get, path is what, endpoint is slash get something. Base URL, this one. Okay, now let's comment this. Let's comment, let's uncomment this. Uncomment and reload this. Let's try to see what happens. Now, if we type this, get something else, then we will get the result. Now, see, if we try get something else, bravo, here is the list. Now, see what happened. Go to the network tab now again, and let's refresh this. See, get something else, 200. Now, What is text plain? This one, content type is this all. So, what I mean to say, uh, in a status code, whatever the status codes you are returning, you can use your own custom. You can use 404 also. You can send that. You can alter these status code also. So let's see that, and you can have this all. Let's comment this first. You can have this request response. We can let us execute through the run, and through the run, we are going to declare as a async method, because we are declare this one as a await. So before, without executing this line, code control won't go further below. So it will wait over here. So this one await need async method. So your method should be async. Over here, what we are trying to do, HTTP object. This object have a lot of object inside, which we are going to see. Let's restart the project again. Now let's go to the inspect again, and and let's do a breakpoint over here. Now let's again refresh this. Now see this HTTP context, this context object have the request, this object, and the response object. Both this request and response have a header and all those information like body what is the path, which protocol we are using, HTTP/2, what are the method, is there any query string or anything. These some of the things we can alter as we need, as per our project we can have. Like say in this example, I'm sending a status code of 401 and writing on a console that page that not authorized. So if you see, if we run this and see, go to the network tab, see this localhost now have a 401 get, and this not authorized is written here. So we can basically alter our uh, the status code also. So this is regarding the status code. Let's see what is inside this object. Let's uncomment this one. Let's uncomment this, and again restart this. So, guys, here I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get a path. Whatever the path we are giving, that path will be saved here. So let's see, inspect in a network. If I say so path, whatever the path, that is going to be printed. Let's select, see, I'm writing this is my new my new suppose say path, enter. See, this is my new path. So whatever after this you are getting, maybe you are not declared that you do not want to send 404 that not found. You want to send something else. So in that condition, what you will do, you will get your path and check whether the path is matching with you or not, and you can send a custom error, or you can throw in your custom error page. So what we are doing over here, we are writing this like a path slash whatever the path they have entered. So path slash this. Let's this one have a lot of things inside, so you can browse. You can do from yourself. You can try this. Now move to the next. Let's play with the header. Let's reload this. So what I'm doing, I'm playing with the response header. I'm trying to add one header in this example, custom header. In this, we are sending like a customer. We are sending what? We are sending like a customer. We are sending this. See, custom header along with the response. Sometime, guys, what happened? We want to send some token in a response object itself. Uh, Not in an object, in a response header itself. Sometimes some key we want to send to our API consumer, and that key we add into our header and we send to the response header, because the response header cannot be decrypted by any attacker. So in case of HTTPS, query string can be visible easily, but the header, whatever the header you are getting, that is cannot be easily visible. So let's see. Here we are trying to display welcome, 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 guys. So now if we go to here, oh, see, are we getting a right result? I don't think so. So we are trying to display this in a header format, and in this as a header 2 format. So see what happened. Everything is good on the status. We are getting 200, but yeah, one thing, we are not saying that response is what type of response I am going to send. I am going to send a HTML response or a JSON response. So the user won't know. This browser won't know. The browser is just displaying H1 and these. So for this, what we will do, we will uncomment this, guys. We will add this and reload. What we are doing, we are adding content type, and that is text HTML. Nothing fancy. So let's reload this project again and see the difference. So you can set your header, response header from yourself. See the difference, guys. Welcome and guys. So now move to this other. Let's comment this again, and let's play with the other part. Let's see, guys. So what over here I'm doing, I'm passing something in a query string, that is student ID. If I'm passing a student ID, then it will execute that. I mean, I'm uh, trying to play with the request object. So go to this and say we need to reload this. So reload this first. Then let's say pass the student I a student name. Let's say a student name. Press enter. See, this breakpoint doesn't hit because that contain key, we are searching for a student ID, but we do not passing this student ID over here. So see, now it's going there, no student ID. Nothing will be happened. Now suppose I am also passing a student ID. Now that's true. Now see what happened. This typo yeah, request Let's try in this way. Let's remove this and pass with the question mark. Query string always, my bad. Query string is always passing with the question mark. So one was nothing, this question mark, and then followed by ampersand. The next query string will be followed by ampersand. First will be passing by question mark. Now press enter key. Now see, a student ID is there. So now what happened? Go this side and await, and they are returning this H1 student. Okay, okay, guys. Now let's let's go to. So you got my point. What I'm trying to deliver over here. You can play with the request object. Or you can see what query string you have, and according to that, you have to remove this is extra piece. Yes, here. Now the next one. Let's uncomment this, and let's reload this. So guys, through this practical session, I was trying to deliver you this all request and response can be, you can play with that. Let's say the student, this same thing. So in that case, this is now SID I had made. So what we need to do, we need to change this student ID as SID and this as a name. Now see, student ID 1, student name is a server. So we are good. We can see what basically I'm trying to deliver you is this the thing. This is base URL slash name. This is like say this request URL you have in a request header base URL 7009 method is get and the path is this. That means that at the root level you are passing a query string. The schema is HTTPS, request header is this, response header is this. You can change this server as a your server, like this coming as a server as a kestrel. Background it will run as a kestrel, but for a display you can have something different. Like say over here, let's say here, let's copy this. Okay, let's say header is server my own header, my own server. Let's reload this. Let's go again, SID1, this one. Now go to the inspect, go to the network tab. Let's refresh this again. Let's see what happened. See, for the display purpose, you have changed your name, but the backend, this Kestrel is already running. So the backend server is a Kestrel server, but the name of the server you have changed. So sometime you may need a server name, a custom server name you want to send. You can play with any of this response header, and request header, and this response you are getting like in a HTML. So you are you have this structure. Now let's come to the PPT. So we had already covered this HTTP request, status code, response, and the verb. These verb basically, guys, we have these kinds of verb: post, get, put, delete, and patch. Post is basically to creating object in a database. Generally, you can have something different also, but generally, if you want to create a record in your database, you use post method. So when you are trying to get information from the database, generally. Maybe you are trying to get information over here. Our get is returning HTML also. So this is not necessary that you are trying to get a result from the database only every time. Sometimes you will have HTML page or anything. So basically, you are trying to get a result from a server, then use get. When you have a record, and that particular record need to be updated. In that case, you use put. If you want to update a certain part of the record only, not entire, the partial resource on, in this case, in that case, you use batch. To delete a resource from the database or from the server, use delete. So these are the verbs. These are most importantly, we are using most of the time we use get and post. Sometimes we use put, delete, and patch, but the most of the time user developer use these two according to the requirement. We are using this, and the query string we had already discussed. Let's see the question. What are the important HTTP verbs? As we already discussed, you can have this screenshot of this. You can take the screenshot. What are the content when negotiation in HTTP? So these are the answer. Now, regarding my upcoming video, we are going to discuss middleware, custom middleware order. We will create a middleware. We will create middleware, custom middleware class. We will create our custom middleware extension, and we will have order of that middleware. We will see how middleware is working. So, guys, once again, thank you. Uh, Thanks a lot being with me. Please, guys, subscribe my channel, and thanks for watching.